No, I didn't say that. I did not say that, Reed. I said none of us can guarantee an outcome on that. I have said consistently all along, this is part of the deliberative process. We're going to debate and discuss that. And there are debates and discussions going on our side of the aisle and on theirs. But to get everybody together and build that consensus is not possible until we get the government operating again and we stop holding. I get very upset about that. We stop holding the American people hostage for these ridiculous political games. People see what's going on here. We should not have Border Patrol agents not paid right now because Chuck Schumer wants to play political games to cover his tail. I don't know how much more simply to say that, and every single one of you know that's exactly what's going on. I don't like being Mad Mike. I want to be Happy Mike. I want to be the happy warrior, but I am so upset about this. God bless America. We're done. Well, look, I'll be intellectually consistent and tell you don't listen to what politicians say. Look at the actual evidence. I can put on my evidence here. First, Exhibit A is what AOC actually said last night. She did not disclaim that she was running against Schumer, and there's a lot to talk about that. You don't have to take my word for it. Most of you have written about that. But then also look at the evidence. Exhibit B would be what happened in March. And when we began all this, and I think at the first or second day of the shutdown, I brought you a magazine cover that I had on a big stack on my desk, the Washington Examiner, and it was a cartoon depiction of Chuck Schumer leaving the Senate with a box with all his belongings as if he had been fired, and he had this shameful look on his face, and all the House Democrats were drawn behind him, screaming at him, holding up signs saying he was a traitor, etc. And that's the abuse he took from the far left corners of the base after he did the right and responsible thing, by his own words, not mine, the right and responsible thing to pass the continuing resolution in March. We have the identical product on the table today. What has changed? Don't take our word for it. Just go look. The only explanation for this is that Chuck Schumer does not want to face the heat and the scrutiny and the abuse that he took in March for doing the right, responsible thing by the far left voices in his party. When Bernie and AOC get the full stage for a CNN, the first socialist town hall, I hope they're proud of themselves. They are the voices of the party. I mean, they are. Look, Mamdani is on path, shockingly, sadly, frighteningly, to become the elected mayor of the largest city in America, the once cradle of capitalism. There is a Marxist rise in the Democratic Party, and the old guard, and I'm saying old guard, Chuck Schumer's been here for 44 years, okay? He is not the flavor of the month, and he knows that he's going to get a challenge. If it's not AOC, it'll be another disciple of Mamdani or somebody like that. They all know that. Ask Hakeem Jeffries why he has not openly endorsed Mamdani for the mayor of New York. He's in a real bind. Because Hakeem Jeffries, while he's a far-left progressive politician, he's not a communist. But you have to aspire, you have to say, you have to stand for the farthest left ideas, socialism, communism, Marxism right now, to be in favor in the Democratic Party. This is not your grandfather's Democratic Party. They wouldn't recognize it. And that's the dynamic that Chuck Schumer is dealing with, and that's why he's drawn the line right here. He had to show a fight, and everybody knows it. It is plainly on display. Yes.
Are you worried about that extremist pro-Hitler sentiment among the party's young Republicans?
No. Look, obviously we roundly condemn any of that nonsense. And the Young Republican or the organization, whoever that, I don't know who any of these people are. I never heard of them. Somebody posted a photo of me standing next to these guys. We're in tuxedos. Obviously, I think it was at the inauguration, and people were just coming up and asking for selfies with 1,000 of them. I don't know. I've never heard of that person in my life. But whoever these young people are, and whatever they're saying, if it's true, we obviously condemn that. And the organizations involved are dealing with that. That's my understanding. With regard to the swastika thing, this happened last night. A Republican congressman, allegedly one of his staffers had something in the background or something in a Zoom. That's what I heard this morning. He says that that's not his, and there's a proper investigation ongoing, and the congressman did exactly what he should have done, and that is report it. It's under investigation, and I can't comment on it any further until that's done. But I will say, obviously, that is not the principles of the Republican Party. We stand for the founding principles of America. You want me to articulate them for you right now? Individual freedom, limited government, the rule of law, peace through strength, fiscal responsibility, free markets, human dignity, the things that lead to human flourishing. We have stood against that. We fought the Nazis. We defended that evil ideology. We roundly condemn it, and anybody in any party who espouses it, we're opposing that. I don't know how else more simply to say that. Yes, sir.
Back on the shutdown,
Let me tell you what happened yesterday, because I met with Leader Thune, and he offered to Chuck Schumer a vote on Obamacare subsidies, and Schumer said no. that happened. Asked Leader Thune about it, because they wanted a guaranteed outcome. Here's why we can't do that. Let me say this very clearly and for everyone again. Okay. The Obamacare subsidy issue is not the issue of today. It is in a subsidy that expires December 31. We were always planning to continue the debate and discussion about that issue in October and November. Ironically, Democrats are taking the time off the clock for us to do that. It's a very complicated, complex matter. There are no income caps on that. By the way, did you know if you're a hardworking taxpayer, middle-class earner, and your family's struggling to put food on the table, did you know that you are subsidizing wealthy people's health care with that subsidy? You probably didn't. Premiums have risen by some estimates 60% since Obamacare was enacted into law in 2010. There's no way to repeal and replace it because it's too deeply ingrained right now. We have to improve it. Republicans are the ones with the ideas to increase access to care, the quality of care, and bring down the cost. Not the Democrats. They're the ones that gave us this problem, and they're the ones that have made it so expensive. Now, we have 535 members between the House and Senate. There's a lot of people in this deliberative body here. That's a very complicated issue. It's not something that 4 people can go into a back room and guarantee an outcome on. It can't be done. It was not possible to be part of the CR, and it is not feasible. It's not appropriate to be on the CR. We require the member-driven consensus process here, and that's what's necessary. So it's not possible for Leader Thune to guarantee to Chuck Schumer some outcome on that because we haven't finished those deliberations. I mean, that's just as simple as it is, and all of you report on the Hill all the time. You know how the process works. So when Leader Thune offered Schumer a vote on the ACA, on the subsidy, without guaranteeing an outcome, Schumer said, nope, no thanks, we'll keep it closed. Because, by the way, remember, every day of the shutdown gets better for us, as Chuck Schumer said, okay? It's not getting better for the American people.
Thank you.
No, I didn't say that. I did not say that, Reed. I said none of us can guarantee an outcome on that. I have said consistently all along, this is part of the deliberative process. We're going to debate and discuss that. And there are debates and discussions going on our side of the aisle and on theirs. But to get everybody together and build that consensus is not possible until we get the government operating again and we stop holding. I get very upset about that. We stop holding the American people hostage for these ridiculous political games. People see what's going on here. We should not have Border Patrol agents not paid right now because Chuck Schumer wants to play political games to cover his tail. I don't know how much more simply to say that, and every single one of you know that's exactly what's going on. I don't like being mad, Mike. I want to be happy, Mike. I want to be the happy warrior, but I am so upset about this. God bless America. We're done. Thanks.